I had a dream last night that I had a DeLorean time machine. I was at some exotic locale and it looked incredible. Had the hat, the jacket, the hoverboard. But then I woke up.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wrestling Rewind here on the Jeff Meacham Network. I'm, of course, Jeff Meacham, and if you've seen that logo and this logo the last couple days, you already know that, and you know why I'm all freaking 2015 tricked out here, but we'll get to that momentarily. Joining me, as he do, Greg Cherry, the reigning, not defending today, but he is hosting the NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge in just about an hour from now. So keep that in mind as you watch along here, because over the Greg Cherry brand at 6 p.m., you got a little WTC, and then if no matter where you go after that, it's around 3:30, 6:30, you have the post game, kids. It's a beautiful day in the NoDQ neighborhood. So here we go. Whew, that was a long intro, and that's a hell of a trailer. I always forget how long these things are till I cut them. Like, Jesus Christ, let's start the show.
yeah. Hey, you're the one editing them. You can cut them down if you need me.
Yeah, and what's funny is, you guys didn't see this because this is still in the edit bay. Like, yesterday was an experience, and you're going to see what I can let you see of what happened yesterday. Just a lot of conversation that is not suitable for anybody, quite frankly. I mean, except for me and Adam to just BS about it later. But it's weird. Like, it's happened with you, and it's happened with Aaron. It's once I get a rapport with somebody, it's just like about life shit. Doesn't matter. Hasn't mattered for 10 years. Whatever.
Yeah,
but
just
there it was,
vomit.
right there in 3 hours worth of film. So we're gonna have to cut that down just a smidge. But today we're watching something in its entirety, something that built and built and built over the course of time, because as Roddy Piper do, he took a little bit of a hiatus for a brief time in the later part of 1986 and magically became babyface in that hiatus, as heels often do in the WWF/WWE. And when he came back, he noticed his pit was occupied by a flower shop, hosted by the adorable one, Adrian Adonis. And here we are in front of, wait for it. Wait, let me just make it dramatic here, as I do. In front of 93,000 people. And just to make it fun and see how much we can get sued, there's that. So, yeah. Let's just see what happens now, kids. Yeah, we're gonna watch.
This video is taken down already. Good night, everybody.
Good night. That's it. Yeah, we're done. That's it. We'll see you at 6. So, but it'll be fun. And if worst case scenario, I'll edit it out. I really don't care. I just want to have a little fun. You got the 93,000 people behind you. You gotta have the old logo. It's just mandatory. Now that I've rambled long enough and didn't tell you the timestamp yet, because that's what I do on this show. There you are, right there. You are just under 1 hour into this extravaganza that was for the longest time the benchmark of WrestleManias. And we didn't have WrestleMania 3 on the docket last week because I wanted to give each of the main events from 2 its own chance. Mm-hmm. And the way it worked out is I've got 4 each week from each WrestleMania, except WrestleMania 4, because we're not watching that show ever again, because it took us better part of a week to watch the damn thing. So, or WrestleMania 4, if you watch WrestleMania 4, you do you, boo. Have fun. But I ain't in that. But this WrestleMania, the year before that, 1987, I mean, Hogan Andre, Savage Steamboat, You know, we watched Savage Steamboat on this show last year during this time because we were just starting to get back into the swing of things here on the network with you and I doing our show. And I didn't want to do Hogan Andre because I love the Hulkster. There's no questioning that whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But my goodness, it's a bad match. It's very.
It's not the greatest. It has the memorable moment, obviously, of Hogan slamming Andre.
Of course.
But when you look at it, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, their match the following February, which still was limited mobility Andre, screwing Hogan out of the title with DiBiase's help, that got a huge number in ratings. It got a huge number on overall viewership, and Meltzer gave it redonkulous reviews. It's like, you all right, Dave? You get a little NorCal, a little bit, maybe. Okay, just checking. It wasn't. I mean, his suplex to end that match at 88 was like, wow.
Yeah, imagine Twitter if it existed back in the 80s, which, I mean, it would have been the downfall of society if Twitter was around for 30-some years.
Hogan would have been. It's funny. Flair always says if they'd have been in the WWF, Hogan would have been in the opening match. If Twitter would have been a thing in 88, I don't think Hogan would have even won the damn title. Like, I don't think that would have happened because the people would have been like, no. So, or then again, he may have just to Roman Reigns us and, piss us off for 4 years. So either way, I don't know if it would have happened, but yeah, it's funny to try to implant social media's influence 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and you just go, you shudder and you get a cold chill up your spine and go, don't do that ever again. You just give yourself the heebie-jeebies.
And besides that, Hogan and Andre, let's be honest, has been done to death. It's everybody,
very much so.
Everybody by now, if you're a wrestling fan and have seen any old school wrestling, you've had to have gotten around to Hogan and Andre. If you haven't, pause us, watch it, come back, watch us. Because, I mean, it's not going to blow your mind by any stretch of the imagination, but it feels like an important part of wrestling history to watch.
Or if you're that involved with us, which we appreciate, by the way, here on the network and on Wrestling Rewind, go ahead and watch this. You got time between us and Wrestling Trivia Challenge to watch the Hogan Andre match. It's not that long, nor is this one, so you're good to go. So, but there it is, 59 minutes, 38 seconds. You should have just heard Bobby Heenan have to be cut off at the seams because he just won't stop talking because it's Bobby Heenan. And he was on commentary for the previous match, which was the Dream Team Killer Bees match. So there you go. Here we go. 59:38, WrestleMania 3. If you're not there now, you better pause and make sure you get there because although we're live at 4 or 5 o'clock rather. 3, 2, 1, play. There you see the graphic that you just saw right there. And if I can get it to go, there it goes. Damn. All right. 51, 42, 43. All right. So right away, you're seeing not only Adonis and Jimmy Hart attacking Roddy Piper and the Magnificent Rocco, let's not forget him, but Piper's own ace, man. What the hell, Bob? And then Roddy just comes with what looks like a bat, but when he breaks it, it looks like it was 3 bats like sewn together by some weird scientist or some shit. I mean, look at that thing just disintegrated in his hand there. The war has just begun. It's so, and look at the new pit set. Look how much they did him up after they tore the old one down, man. They gave him a nice upgrade there. You know it's legit. You know you really picked Jimmy up because Jimmy's like weighs about 20 pounds with lead in his. So can you believe he's 78 years old?
Adonis or Jimmy Hart?
No, Jimmy. Yeah, no. Adrian.
I guess
Adrian
Adonis
passed away. Yeah. I know how he would be, but yeah, he's no longer with us. But yeah, Jimmy Hart turned 78 on New Year's Day. That is bonkers to me. I don't know about you, but they edited out him spraying him in the face with that atomizer,
which is weird.
They glazed over it. I'm noticing that a lot. Like when you see like those top 10 or whatever, like the old stuff, they don't actually show the impact of the chair, the actual dangerous thing that happened. They just they like freeze the shot and then go to the next frame. Weird.
This is supposed to be uncut stuff.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Hmm.
If I ever have a WrestleMania match, I want this ring to take me to the ring.
Oh, yes. Yes. There will be a cart, and it will look like a wrestling ring. And I'll be standing right there with you because it just has to be that way. Look at that. Man, yeah, it's so iconic. Like, the only two that didn't use the cart, Hogan, of course, and the man you're about to see come out here in a minute here. Adrian on that Playboy Buddy Rose blowaway diet. It's so scary. I remember that after 30 years. That's crazy. But I remember, like, I can see the commercials. I can see the powder. I can see it in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian's like, hey, Brood, can I borrow your hedge clippers?
Well, what's funny is, I don't know if you remember this or not, Mr. Trivia Expert. This is where Brood becomes the barber. I loved how he here, Adrian here, and then Brutus forever carried the hedge clippers. Whose hair was he cutting with the hedge clippers? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Why was that even remotely introduced?
Well, I mean, it's not like you can go like,
well, right,
and have it mean anything. Like the cutting and the strutting is one thing, but like it doesn't like.
Yeah, I mean, I know a really isolationist guy in Haddonfield, Illinois, that could really use a hedge trim, every now and again. But people, I don't know. And there you go, Roddy. Yeah, the way he tells it, and this is Roddy. So he tells it that he was supposed to take the card out there and it malfunctioned, and he's sitting there, screwing with it. And he finally looked at McMahon and said, if I can't run in the ring my last match, I shouldn't be out here in the first place.
Yeah.
Off he went. Couldn't let Hulk have that all to himself. I don't care what he says. And I'm not faulting him for it because I love Rock. I always did. So I was lucky to come into my fandom when Roddy was babyface. I didn't have the hatred that the people in the mid 80s had for Roddy. So
yeah. And of course, retirement in wrestling doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah. But what's funny is the movie he's about to go take time off for to make, I will be a very special guest on the Renegades reviews of They Live coming up next month on the Constantine Studios channel. So my other choice I gave JJ was his March 1st review, which he picked no holds barred. Gee, I wonder why. March 1st is my birthday, for those of you that don't know.
Did the
Oh, jeez. That is a giant belt. Is that Roddy's own belt he's using?
I guess.
Oh, it was a belt that was holding up his kill. I'm like, what the God? That belt looks like Adrian's size, not Roddy's. Oh man, yeah. I think you're ahead of me because that stupid lag I had. God, he's hitting him in the chest, and that's not pretty.
Okay. I paused for a couple seconds. Hopefully, I'm catching up.
Yeah, I got at 105.06, 7, 8, 9, etc.
Okay, we should be good now.
All right, very good. I mean, just even with shots where they're moving around the ring, look at the amount of people. Like whether it is 78,000 or 90. Wow.
Holy crap.
Adrian did the flare bump. Let's take that in for a second. That's a big boy. It well. Yeah.
Of course, Flair used to be about that size.
Well, yeah, when he was rambling Rickus Rhodes for about three seconds. Yes, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's a big boy doing that flare bump, and he landed on his feet. Let's not glaze over that. Poor Jimmy. No wonder you're wasting a little. He's lost weight from stress. Whoa, jeez. There's one pissed off Scotsman. I always found it so, at least back then, I don't know if they did this on purpose. Like when Jimmy lost the sunglasses, it was a big thing. Like, oh God, and then, it would take it forever to get them back on.
Jeez, how many bumps is Jimmy Hart's taking more bumps than Adonis?
Well, yeah. Yeah, remember, Jimmy Hart was bumping back in 1960s something. So, yeah, it's funny. I mentioned Jimmy being 78. Like, you don't think about that, but yeah, his band, the Gentrys, knocked the Beatles off the top of the charts. The Beatles were in the 60s, man. That's 60 years ago.
Yeah.
So his age makes sense when you think about it like that.
Mm-hmm. But he still looks like the same exact person.
Yeah. Like we interviewed him on Extreme Mayhem. God, it had to be 03, I think. And then I didn't meet him in person until 09. And of course, he was at every Summerfest out here afterwards when SummerSlam was out here for, half a decade. So we saw him every year. He doesn't age. Oh, God. Piven just ruined that for everybody. But it's funny. At Summerfest was the first time I met Candice Michelle. Was the first time I met Lena Yada. You remember her?
Mm-hmm.
I did. And it was Dylan's first sunburn.
Oh, they broke the apron.
They did. I saw. Yeah, Dylan was 4 months old. We brought because it was down at Venice Beach, like maybe 5 blocks from her mother's house, right? So we're down at the beach, and I freaking, because I'm a ginger, I burn. She's fair skinned, she burns. We drowned this kid practically in sunscreen.
Yeah,
but somehow we missed right here. I couldn't tell you how we did it, but we did it. And that poor little boy was in such agony for the better part of the rest of the day. I was like, oh man. And of course, I'm pushing the chair and the stroller back to her mom's house. I'm like, I'm gonna catch shit. Yeah. I definitely slept on the couch that night. Not a good look, Granddad. It's funny, like when you go back and watch Adrian here, and then you go back even further and watch him and Jesse as a team. Like, oh, okay, that may be a problem.
Yeah.
Like, that turned into an angle that lasted for 6 months a couple of years later.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it was my first thing ever I saw. It's amazing how, I don't know if it's quick, because it really was a gradual gain of the weight from the East-West connection till Adorable in 86. But like, if I didn't see the facial features right away, I would never guess it's the same person. It's very, very off-putting to see, like, because he and Jesse were a solid World Tag Team Championship team, and both those guys were, I mean, Adrian was never a body guy, but I mean, like Jesse, obviously, but he was in way better shape than he was here. It's interesting to see that, he went where he went with the weight and everything, and they managed to work it and they made it work. Like, he shouldn't be thinking he's just adorable, but he completely works the angle, man. God bless him. Okay, now here's my question. We just saw Brutus out there basically get abandoned by Valentine, Luscious Johnny V, and Dino Bravo for some reason. Was like, okay, the head script came into play. I'll let it be. There you go. But what the hell business is this Brutus's? Why is he out there? Like, what was the point of that other than, I mean, like, I get it. Babyface turn, Jeff, suspend disbelief. But real talk, why the hell does Brutus care about this?
Yeah.
So, and what's really funny, if you really want to like dive, into the behind the kayfabe, if you will, everybody knows who Brutus's best friend is.
Yeah.
Why, when Piper had just turned babyface and Brutus had just turned babyface, why is Brutus helping the guy that's been a thorn in Terry's side for the better part of 3 years? Like, I could totally tear this thing apart piece by piece. We'd be here for an hour. It makes no damn sense. Nor does that immediately dark root showing. Like, dude, did he like forget his dye job that day?
And those are like
very
80s style clippers. It's not like the good ones.
Yeah. Oh, no. No, man. If I'm going to use that on my head, I'd be bleeding for days. What's really funny is, like, they don't show it here on the broadcast, but I don't know if it was the WrestleMania program or the WWF magazine, whatever after this. Like, when he went backstage, they shaved him bald.
Mm-hmm.
Humpty Dumpty. Like, it was bad. And, like, I also find it quite funny that at WrestleMania 3, in the suburb of Detroit, we had a head shaving.
Yeah.
And then 20 years later, the POTUS to be does the same thing to Vince.
Yeah. Well, how many hair versus hair matches have there been at WrestleMania? There's been at least 3.
Well, yeah, well, there's these two, and then there's
Molly and Victoria.
Oh, it's so funny. We just saw Victoria come back. I always forget about her and Molly at 20. I always forget that match because the stipulation was so hokey. Because those two were so much better wrestlers than a freaking hair match. Like, come on, man, really? So I don't know if I purposely block it out or what. Oh, jeez. So you're unlucky as it is by having a bad haircut. Now you're going to give yourself 7 years more bad luck?
Yeah.
Where is Shawn Michaels to pull him into the way when we need him?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. He's still in Minnesota with Marty.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
When Marty was the good part of the team. Anyway, that's not true. Marty was never the good part of the team. Like, Jimmy, you don't look. Don't film it. Don't look. Piper getting the big cheers for the send. Okay, can we? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is what we need to see here. This is Piper's moment here. He's walking away forever for 2 years.
Yeah.
Until he goes and messes with Bruce Pritchard and Martin Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Whoops. Roddy's trying so hard to not kick this guy's ass. And you see security just swarm the dude.
Yeah.
Roddy would, dude, if that had been 85, Roddy, that guy would have gotten punched in the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's going to be
dark hair. Jeez.
Whoa, take that in, kids. Arnie Skollin's still alive at ringside. Whoa, even Jesus. That was a whole lot to take in there in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We had a fan jump Roddy who didn't beat him up. We had a dark-haired Pat Patterson. We had a live Arnold Skollin at ringside actually doing something. Whew, that was a lot. Now he's on the card because he's tired and wants to get the pop as he moseys down the ramp. They're pulling the cart because the cart was so freaking jacked up. They had to actually drive it down this time. That's tremendous. God, look at that scope, man. Look at that. And there's the $1 million legs and Mr. Baseball. There you go. And good old Gorilla.
Yeah.
Two of the few of the WWE Hall of Famers. And if you don't know which two, what the hell are you watching? Anyway. All right. That's enough of that. All right. Well, actually, that was shorter than I thought it was. Anyway, you guys picked it. So, speaking of that, let me go ahead and get the logo out there so I don't get sued anymore. I already have today. All right. Let's see. Let's get rid of. There we go. All the branding's gone. Oh, it's all gone. There we go. All right. So next week, right now on my Twitter over at _Jeff Meacham, you guys have a choice. There is a clear runaway right now. I'm not surprised if it's going to be the match that wins, but I don't mind watching it, so it's okay. Your choices are Ric Flair defending against Macho Man from WrestleMania 8, Mr. Perfect and the Narcissist Lex Luger from WrestleMania 9 in Las Vegas with Stagger Lee in the crowd. Let us not forget that. WrestleMania 10, Brett versus Owen, the clear favorite right now, and WrestleMania 11, Diesel versus Shawn with everybody and their mother at ringside.
Yeah.
I know because I tagged them all on Twitter.
Yeah. There's there's two matches there that I would be happy to watch. Brett and Owen.
I'm guessing the bottom two.
No. I actually, Diesel and Shawn Michaels, I hate that match.
Really?
You know what? I love seeing Shawn Michaels in a championship match, but that power bomb at the end, the jackknife, was the most abysmal thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was Kevin Bean. This sucks. I'm pissed. Done. I'm going home right now.
Yeah. So it's Brett and Owen or Flair and Savage. Either one of those.
Ooh. Okay. Well, Brett and Owen is running away with it right now. Matter of fact, I'm not either, because it is the greatest opening match in WrestleMania history. I'm not even going to freaking fault on that. I'm not even going to front at all. That is the greatest thing, one of the greatest things ever, period. And definitely the best opening match in WrestleMania history. We've talked about that. All right. So, as it stands now, Brett and Owen has 64%.
I mean, that could change. That could change between now and then. And they could decide that they hate us for 11.
But you know what? I don't mind. The thing is, I tried to pick, because, when we did these last year, I picked matches that I look back and I go, why did I do that to myself?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is go on different websites and check the ratings for these matches and see where they are. None of these are bad matches. And honestly, Diesel and Shawn's biggest problem was it had to precede the football player. It's really what, and the fact is, the bump with Earl and Sid was just a train wreck. It made it a mess, and they hadn't hit their groove as opponents yet.
Here's my thing, and we've talked about this before. Come April, we're probably going to watch Diesel and Shawn, Good Friends, Better Enemies, which that match was far superior to the WrestleMania match.
5 years ago, dude, I'm calling exec order right now. That's happening.
Because you said you've never watched it.
Not the whole way through.
Nope. Which boggles my mind. Like, I remember watching that when it happened.
Well, you have to remember, with my wrestling viewing in the 90s, my wrestling viewing was hinged on grades. And once I left elementary school in the summer of 95, not good. Lots of valleys and peaks. So there were times where I didn't see the business. I missed pretty much WWF 97 until Montreal, maybe even later than that. Like, I had to play catch up years later with VHS, with various things, and it's been a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I committed myself to, okay, I'm going to binge the Monday Night War era, all three companies. And I'm stopped at April 10th, 2000. I've not watched either show. Yeah, because my friend Kat, who is a viewer and has been on, she was on the show with Bagwell as a call-in. She was watching something else, and I'm like, I'll wait for you. So she's into 99 already on WCW and ECW. So she stopped at Judgment Day 2000 WWF side. So she's going to go backwards. I'm waiting for her to come forward on the other two, and then we're just going to go to town and see how long it takes us to get through the end of the war.
And April 10th, 2000 is
April 10th is a dirt, man. Like, I started to watch at Nitro, and I'm like, oh, thank God I'm waiting for Cat, because this is hard to watch by myself. Woo.
Oh, yeah, it's the reset.
Yeah, it is. It is a complete steroidal version of a Vince Russo show. Like, oh my God, wow, it's bad. Like, I didn't remember how bad it was. Like, if that show was the starting point for the New Blood Millionaires Club, I can see why they were done in 9 months. Like, I can see it. It's so bad. Mm-hmm. However, these matches, not so bad. Great choices here. I'll show them again just for shits and giggles, because I do want to give the other three at least a fighting chance.
Yeah.
Right now they don't have one. It's ugly, but we still got until Tuesday night next week. So,
from what I remember, it's been a while. Perfect Luger is not bad.
No, it's not. I just watched WrestleMania 9 recently. I actually watched all these recently. Like I said, I watched 11 trying to freaking catch them in an error message that didn't happen. Yeah. So these are all really good stories being told, if nothing else. Brett Owen is a fantastic match. It is exactly what you expect from two Dungeon graduates. I'm not going to lie. Diesel Shawn is what it is. It gets way better 13 months later. So, or almost 13 months later. So it's, and Flair and Savage is emotion, just like their other matches in WCW. And Perfect Luger is very much Bobby's heavy trying to take out Bobby's former heavy. It's really what it comes down to there. But what's cool is about Perfect Luger is the aftermatch, which leads into the Perfect Sean program that went into King of the Ring and SummerSlam. So anyway, I rambled a lot there. Coming up at 6:00, 3 Pacific, which we're still good there. We got about 25 minutes. Go grab yourself a snack and a drink, and if you gotta do your thing in the round room, do your thing. Wrestling Trivia Challenge at 6, and then at 6:30, come back here or Greg's show or Greg's channel or Aaron's channel, wherever you want to watch. It's all good. Post-game show hosted by yours truly. And of course, the host himself. So there you go. We'll be back here. You're not getting rid of us just yet, kids. And then coming up at 7:00 is, of course, No DQ review. I was supposed to be on that, but I have work to do, so I can't do it. So on that front, let me go ahead and do my plugs real quick here. Again, it's in the editing bay. I'm working on it. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it'll be up hopefully this weekend. I'm hoping it'll be up sometime this weekend once I get out what I need to get out of it. I also need to thank the guys at Undecided Apparel, UndecidedPrinting.com, and eBay user Thibs Treasures for my shirt and my hat, respectively, today on the show with Adam and during the post-game show today for WTC, because Undecided got me this shirt in a hurry, and I so appreciate that. My Teespring shirt's on its way. The black one I ordered for me is on its way, so it says. My dad's shirt, not so much. It's still being printed according to Teespring. We'll see how it plays out. And then, of course, this treasure. I mean, you know, I showed you guys on the air. This is an actual Universal Studios item. So I was very lucky to find this. I'm very happy I found it. It worked great with yesterday. You'll see the pictures. If you haven't been on my Facebook yet, check them out. Had a good time yesterday. So that's today. Tomorrow on the Casa 18 Studios channel and replayed here on the Jeff Meacham Network will be JJ's review of one of my favorite movies ever. And no, it doesn't age well in 2020. I know, but Pretty Woman. I adore this movie so much. And I just actually, for the first time, got my own copy of it within the last week. And I watched it. And it like you said, the whole basis of the story does not look well 30 years later. But it's still a very cute movie. It's very much a modern day fairy tale, like they called it in the 1990s. So it's very cute. And I love it. Then this week, we get into some shit because it's the NWO's anniversary this year. So we're in chapter 4 of that Saturday. And then Sunday is the anniversary. 35 years of the big gold belt. Just crazy that not only is this belt 35 years old, but thanks to the WWE and other parties, I've managed to find every single instance. Belt's debut, every time it's been switched, and its parting shot on Thunder in the year 2000. So starting on Sunday, every Sunday, high noon for you East Coast kids, chapter of that. And then we finish off this whirlwind weekend at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, with the watch along of NXT TakeOver. So there you go. It's going to be a busy week for me. Tell us about today's matchup, WTC.
Well, today's matchup is my buddy Travis Fame going one-on-one with JPO, Jordan Owens, who runs Wrestling with Trivia and has participated in Combat Wrestling Trivia. So it should be a good match. Travis was in the tournament 2 years ago and actually defeated Kyle Mach in the opening round before falling to, I believe, David Diaz in the second. But we'll see how this goes. You know, will he be able to redeem himself from his exit last year, or will JPO move forward? That is the question. And there will be 20 more come 6 o'clock.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to sound braggadocious. If it comes like that, I'm sorry. Was I the champion with the farthest last time in the tournament?
Yeah. Well, you made the finals. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember how far. It's been a while. a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, you made the finals and fell to Mark Mock.
That's right. And then it was such a what that people demanded. What we ended up giving them was the Iron Man match. So that actually worked out for everybody because that was just a tremendous day. You saw the trailers. I'm not going to go too deep into the plugs, but buy the shirts. All the shirts you see here. And yes, JJ, we got your tank tops up over at the Teespring store. Buy who you need to buy them for. Buy a case of them, please. Because they're not going to sell. It's February. It's cold as shit. So,
buy a case of them, sure.
Yeah, please buy a case and give it all your friends in Florida because they need it because it's hot down there. But
there you
it's colder than a witch's titty up here. So I don't need no tank tops. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you.
Also,
and then of course, go ahead.
Fan Quizlemania was last night, and I had previously won 2. A third is on its way because your boy pulled it out again. The 3-time Fan Quizlemania champion. I pulled it out yet again.
All right.
I feel like it's only a matter of time before I make the main show because I have Blampier and Louis Dangor in the tournament. I've won Fan Quizlemania 3 times. It's a matter of time before Cherry for Quizlemania becomes a reality. That's my opinion.
Here's my thing with that, and I'm going to try to channel my buddy from the Jersey Shore here. So you're telling me after last night, you are a three-time Fan Quizlemania champion of the world.
Yes.
Like him, hate him, you got to respect him.
Oh, I was going to say, you love me, you hate me, you'll
never
forget me.
Well, yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. He won't because 1,057 days, so or whatever. So
is that what it is? Hold on.
He's got the count in front of him. I'm just gonna let him go ahead and look it up. That's tremendous.
I don't. After 1,000, I forget. It's 1,069 days. Nice.
Christian, that was for you, buddy. All right. Okay. He's not watching it. Okay. So there we go. Trivia at 6, post game at 6:30, review at 7, and then Jeff takes a nap. So there's again. There's the link for the shirt I'm wearing. It comes in 7 snazzy colors. So I got 2 of them on the way. A black one for me and the kind of the same. I think the blue I have here is. I tried to have it be the same blue as in the bottom right corner, but I'm not sure how he got close. Like I said, this was I need this for Adam's place. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Undecided Apparel. We you were the first one to give us a shirt in the first place with Talk Wrestling. So I am forever grateful to you for starting this down the path of having something to wear on my shows. I really appreciate it because everything I had before that was Aaron or Zoog's given. And I was very grateful to not only have the ODQ hat I had made from you guys, but my own shirt. That was really something. So check them out. They're on Soledad Canyon up here if you're in Santa Clarita, California, or undecidedprinting.com. So and let me throw that graphic up there one more time for shits and giggles. Boom, there it is. And for stuff like my hat, the Back to the Future hat, which you can't find anywhere because it's 35 years old and they don't sell it in stores because they got better stuff to sell now. But there you go. eBay. eBay's a beautiful thing. All right, guys. We appreciate you being on with us. And I know it's a quick one. So you have your choices for next week. There they are right there. Again, twitter.com/_Jeff Meacham with the link. And Greg and I will see you in just a few minutes here, actually. A little over 15 minutes for the trivia and the post game. And then we'll see you next week right here on Wrestling Rewind.